you are more than welcome to the Coffee at 11 show, brought to you this lovely Monday morning by Wigwam.ie SME Peer Support. Delighted to have you all here, and in particular delighted to have my special guest, the very young, ridiculously young Chris Kelly. Chris, you're very welcome. Please say hi and show us your coffee mug.
Thank you very much. Not a very fancy mug, it's standard Dunn's mug today, but thank you very much all the same.
I love a standard Dunn's one today, TrackWorks one into the future. I have no doubt, there's nobody in the cafe has any doubt that you'll figure out a way for sure. Chris Kelly, just fantastic having you in the cafe. Thank you for your time this morning. We're going to go to Q&A from the floor in just a minute, and I know Carl Daly is first in the queue to ask a question. We're bringing in just a second, Carl. Before I bring Carl in, Chris, back to you. What one tip would you give your nearest and dearest? You'll get through COVID, come out in best shape by doing blah. What's the blah for Chris Kelly, please?
Blah. I think in honour of the people that are doing such great service for us, I think if we can just stay socially distant and obey the kind of restrictions and so on, I think that's probably the biggest thing that we can be doing right now, is that as company owners or as people, is to try and keep our staff as safe as we can and to support the frontline workers as best as we can. I think that's a really big thing we can do, and it's actually quite simple, is just make sure that we kind of do what we're supposed to do and let them get on with the delivering of the care, because we don't want to end up like Lombardy, or we don't want to have those types of challenges. I think that's probably the COVID tip for sure.
So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're more than welcome to another episode of the Coffee at 11 show, brought to you by Wigwam.ie SME Peer Support. Delighted to be here in lockdown heaven on, I think it's a Tuesday morning. I'm sure it's wonderful. And delighted to have my special guest, a good friend for many years, John McNamara, in the hot seat. John, please say hello and show us your coffee mug or your water glass, whatever you have.
I have both, but I specifically have a coffee mug, seeing as that is the theme of the show, so I couldn't turn up without one. So thank you for having me on, by the way.
Right, going to go from the floor. Before we do, one quick tip, John. You've been asked to advise your nearest and dearest. You get through COVID best and come out in best shape by doing blah. What might that blah be for you?
Being flexible. Yeah, the old way won't work right now, so you have to be flexible. That's what's worked for me, because I came in with a very set structure that worked in the old world. That doesn't work right now. So initially I tried to shoehorn it into this and go, yeah, it'll still fit in here, but you're going, it won't. So you got to be flexible and go, okay, there's a different way to do this. And for me, it's just that piece of lowering your expectations of what you can achieve every single day.
And a very good morning. You are more than welcome to the Coffee at 11 show this lovely Wednesday morning here in our Zoom land cafe. And delighted that we're here courtesy of Wigwam.ie SME Peer Support. Here especially delighted to be talking to my good friend for some years and my special guest this morning. That's Baron of Dublin, Benoni Robu, known to his friends as Ben. So Ben, you are more than welcome. And you might just say hello and show us your coffee mug, please.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. Thank you for inviting me, Colm. Good morning, everyone. I hope you will not waste your time for the next 14 minutes or so.
Ben, I guarantee that I won't, and nor will anybody who is in the cafe today and anybody who will hear this story, because it's quite fascinating, quite fascinating. Before we go to Q&A from the floor, what one tip would you give your nearest and dearest? Because not everybody is a Ben Robu. Not everybody is as focused, as in touch with what's going on. So for the average person out there, what would you say they should do? One tip that will help them get through COVID, come out the far side in the best shape possible. What's the one tip, please?
It's very simple. If it's lockdown, if it's a boom, it's same situation. Nothing changes. Will not change you. If you are doubting yourself, a crisis like this will make you doubt even more. If you are present, will enhance your presence. So you're gonna grow. Whatever is there, that will grow, no matter what. If you see yourself in a mirror as a successful person, you're going to skyrocket immediately, no matter what, no matter when this thing will finish, because you are anchored not on the external circumstances. Your foundation, it's inside of you. It's not outside of you. And no matter how much stormy water, how much earthquake will shake your belief system or your economy, because you are anchored deeply inside yourself. Nothing outside yourself can shake you. So you are unbreakable. We are unbreakable.
And a very good morning. You're all very welcome to the Coffee at 11 show this beautiful Thursday morning. Delighted to be coming to you courtesy of wigwam.ie SME peer support. Delighted to have my special guest, a lady I've known and admired for some years now, Patricia Roberts of Number One Perry Square. Patricia, would you say hello and show us your coffee cup? I'm sure you have one.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Colin, and all your team for having me on the show this morning.
So we are going to go to Q&A from the floor, but before we do, I'm going to ask you, if I may, for one tip. What one thing would you say to your nearest and dearest? You get through COVID, come out in best shape by doing blah. What's the blah for Patricia, please?
You know, I think there was lots of tips coming to mind when you asked this question, Colin. Actually, I suppose one of the most important things is I'm a great believer in vision. Visualize where you want to be and make the plan, and you'll get there. And don't let anything get in your way. And I suppose I was always very much that way, focused to myself. I said, you know, vision. Your vision is for you to create, but it's also for you to carve that plan to get there. And, you know, the vision could be something as simple as working a 3-day week versus a 5, or doing more exercise, whatever that vision is. But really take the time to think it through, write it down, and then it will happen. Because I think, you know, and I have gone through this struggling. Where are you going? Where are we going? Where are we going? What's all this for? You know, going through that process with oneself. But, you know, visualize it, set realistic targets, and just go for it. I suppose the other little tip is the reflection time for me in the last few weeks. It has been so precious, you know, and I think one of the things I had done was stop trusting my gut enough in the last few years as we've been busy. So the reflection time to be able to really reflect on what the real me is has been wonderful. So take the time to reflect and visualize where you want to be and go for it, I think. Yeah.
A very good morning, one and all. Thank you for joining us here in the Zoom Cafe for the Coffee at 11 show, brought to you by wigwam.ie SME peer support. I'm very excited today for several reasons. Number one, this is our 50th Coffee at 11 show. I cannot believe it. This is our 50th Coffee at 11 show. And round of applause for all involved. And we made a commitment. I made a commitment several weeks ago. It turns out it's 10 weeks ago now that I would go live with what has become the Coffee at 11 show every weekday, Monday to Friday, for as long as COVID lasted, expecting it would last about 3 weeks, right? Here we are, 50 shows in, and we're going to go on to the 7th of August because the lockdown officially lifts on the 10th of August. So we have another 50 shows to go. Happy days. But in particular, I'm excited today because the lady who's my special guest today is somebody I've been a fan of quietly for many years. Lost sight of her, I suppose, when I left Dublin. And then she turned back up and has been involved in the cafe, has joined the cafe over the last month or so. And I'm delighted to introduce you today to Brighid McLaughlin. Brighid, you're very welcome. Please say hello and show us your coffee mug.
Good morning, Colin.
It's great to have you here, Brighid, and I better explain what I suggested there. Oh, by the way, before we go any further, you might just say another quick hello, Brighid. I think we agreed pre-show that you get the prize for the very best backdrop for the Coffee at 11 show.
Thanks so much.
We're going to go to Q&A from the floor, as we always do. You're well familiar with the format at this stage, Brighid. So before we do, have you one tip that you could offer your nearest and dearest? You get through COVID, come out the far side in great shape by doing blah. What's that one blah for Bridget McLaughlin, please?
Well, it's very simple. I was thinking about this. I didn't have to think hard. My advice would be hunker down like a hedgehog and dip into the sea and immerse yourself in nature, because every business person I ever met, I met quite a few of them, they're all in a horrendous mindset of business and work. So that is simply it. Before, after COVID, it's exactly, I just believe that always.